Hello guys, welcome back to Tutor Techie. In the last video, we learned how to set up workspace of Spring Boot application in Spring Tool Suite. So today in this video, we are going to learn how to create a REST web service in Spring Boot application. So without wasting any time, let's start. So first we'll create a controller. So in this package, we'll create a class for that. So in new, we'll create a class. So let's give a name demo controller. You can give any name you want. So demo controller. So in this we'll create a method which will refer to the endpoint, or you can say the resource. So let's create a method for that as well. So let's give a name like fetch data, and we need to provide the endpoint URL for this, what it denotes, what kind of resource it is. So let's assume this is a get method. So we'll use get mapping. Inside this, we'll provide the what endpoint URL you want for this REST API. So let's give it a name like get data. And yeah, we need to import it. And what it says that we need to return something. And let's say return hello tutor techie. That's it. Okay, I missed double quotes. Now looks good. And then we need to specify that this is a REST controller so that it understand that whatever you are returning is as a response body. So on top of the class, we'll use the annotation REST controller. So let's save it. Now let's run, and then we'll use the postman to see if you are getting the response. So run as Java application. Let's wait for a minute. Yeah, select him application. That's our main class. It's running. Yeah, started. So let's go to Postman. You can use browser as well because it's a get method. You can directly hit the URL over there. So HTTP this local host colon 8080, and then what is the URL we have given over here? So this is the endpoint get data. So we need to specify that get data. So send it. We'll see method not allowed. Okay, this is a get method, so we need to select get over here. Send it again. See, we are getting the response. So this is our first REST API using get method. Now what we'll do, we'll create a post method so that it will receive the data from the front end and will consume that data and response it back. So for that, let's create another method, and let's say it returns something, some response. So maybe like data response. So we'll create this class as well. So data response, and then we'll say post data. So it will post the data, and then we need to receive something from the front end, right, from the UI. So let's assume that we consider as a contact form. So we need to store in some of the model class. So we'll create that model class as well. So it will be like request body, and then let's say data request. That's we are going to create it now. So this is what it looks like. So let's create these two classes, data request that will receive the data from the front end, and data response will give it back to the front end. So over here, let's create a new class, data request. You can give it any name. So I prefer this name, so finish. So here, let's say from the front end, we are getting, let's say name, age, or something like that. So let's create those variables, string name, then string age. Let's keep it as int age. Let's keep these two variables for now, and then you need to create the setter and getters for these two. So what I'll do, so you can use a shortcut as well, like alt control control shift S. Yeah, alt shift S, I think. Yeah, alt shift S. You'll get the getter setter. What is saying that select a field. Oh, sorry. So generate getter setter. Select all these two fields. We need the getter setter. Generate. So it generates for you. What you can do, you can click on this, right click over here also, and then you need to go to source and then generate getter setter. The shortcut is alt shift and S. Okay, so let's create another class for response. So we'll go to new class. Name is data response. So we'll create, let's say we'll create something like int status code. So use the camel case status code, and then use string status message, let's suppose. And again we'll create the getter setter for these two variables. Select all, generate. So now we have both data response and data request. So let's go to the controller again. So over here, now again we need to give this. Now this is, we assume it as a post method. So we write post mapping. We'll give the URL like post data. Okay, so now we receive this request. So what we'll do, so we just receive this request and we'll sys out this request as well. Sys out and we'll see request dot age and then request dot name as well. We'll give it age. Copy this line. Then name. Sorry, so this should be, so let's, if you are creating the getter and setter, so let's make these private variables as well. Otherwise it doesn't make sense to have a getter setter. These two as well. Yeah, now over here, get age, and this one will be get name. For this, and then we need to return this data response. So let's create an object for this, and then we'll set it the status code and the status message. So data response equals to new data response, and in this data response, what we'll do, we'll set the status code. Set status code, let's say 200 something, and then data response dot set status message, and we'll post the message like your query has been posted successfully. Something like this. Oh, I missed the double quotes. Looks good. Now what is saying? Post data at the request body. What is there? Let's find it out. Oh, we are not returning. Oh, sorry. So now we need to return data response over here. Yeah, looks good. So now let's test this. API as well. So we'll go to the Postman. So now we have post data, and then we'll change this to post, and then we need in the body we need to pass the JSON format, and it has two values, name and let's say tutor techie, and then age. So it's end, so you don't need to provide any double quotes. So let's say 28, and then let's send it, and we'll see the response. Unsupported media type. Okay, this is, we need to change this because you accept JSON. So let's send it now again. So here we go. So you got the status code 200, status message, your query has been posted successfully. Let's see whether we receive the request or not. So let's see this is out over there. So see, we got the request as well. Age 28, name tutor. So now, if your request body has different key, like if you want this body, if you have, let's say, full name, not name only, but in your data request you have name, so you can give the alternate name as well over there. Let's cancel this. So let's go over there. So what you can do, you can go to the data request, and on top of this you can use the annotation JSON property and provide whatever name you want, the alias. So let's say full name, save it. Let's now we'll pass full name from there. Okay, full name is, let's send it again. We got the request. Let's change the value so it reflects the change. So what we'll do, we'll make it keep this one. So we'll see like tutortechie.com like this, send it, and then see it. So here we go. Now it's reflecting. So you can also give the alias over here. And there's one more thing in the REST API over here in the controller. So instead of using post mapping, you can also use like or in the get mapping as well, you can use like request mapping. Inside request mapping, you can provide different parameters like method equals to request. So let's method dot, so your method is post like this, comma, and then value, that is your endpoint URL, equals to whatever this is, post data. You can also specify you what kind of data you want to consume. Right now by default it's JSON. If you want to consume other than that, you can provide like this, comma, consumes. Also, if you want to produce any specific type of data, so you can use produces as well. So these are the parameters you can use instead of this post mapping. I hope you guys like this video, and in the next video we'll learn more about Spring Boot application, and one more video we are going to make on React as well. So stay tuned with Tutor Techie. See you soon. Thank you.